are you enjoying the fall?
I love it.
Is it your favorite season?
Brisk morning air and pumpkin pie. What's not to love?
Why are you running for president?
I think I've always wanted to.
You're running in 2032. Why talk about this now?
Just to show people how long I've been working on it.
Okay, let's start with healthcare access. What are your thoughts?
Well, we shouldn't nationalize it like a lot of people today are talking about.
Why?
Healthcare in the United States is 2, 3, 4 times more expensive for the same service at the same quality as it is in other developed countries. Nationalizing that would just distribute this overpriced cost to everyone in America.
What do you suggest?
Well, while it sounds good in theory, let's share the load. What if we look to how this industry was founded? What if we bring back the transparency and the competition we had decades ago that made this industry so innovative and affordable?
What are your thoughts on marijuana?
I have high hopes for the industry.
Abortion?
I don't know. Let me talk to more women first.
Speaking of, what do you think of the Free the Nipple movement?
You know, I don't get why people try and ban boobs. Because they can be sexualized? Some people can be turned on by feet. Should we ban flip-flops?
Where do you stand on gay rights?
Just because I'm a straight man doesn't mean you need to be.
Taxes?
Too complicated. And if we simplify the tax code, that eliminates the complexity and therefore the possibility of loopholes. And instead of taxing someone 40 and having them pay 10, we can tax everyone 20 and have them actually pay 20.
Let's talk about the planet's health.
Okay.
What do you think is the biggest threat to humanity?
Sea level rise. The majority of our species lives near the ocean. That's also where our infrastructure and economies are based. By keeping our cities dry, we can allow all of us the time and stability needed to develop the long-term solutions, and to develop the long-term solutions needed to properly manage this planet, just like a forest preserve, but on a bigger scale.
What about green energy?
Nuclear.
Isn't nuclear dangerous?
I think we've confused the bombs with the power source.
Haven't those had meltdowns?
Okay, touche. I'll give you that one. But here's the thing. The nuclear reactors of today were designed by our grandfathers on pencil and paper. No computers were involved in this. And think of the Ford Model T. That, when it came out, wasn't perfect, and yet we pushed through that and built the race cars of today. I don't think we should give up on nuclear just because its first few designs had some accidents.
What about wind and solar?
They're great, yeah, but they're also inconsistent. You need a reliable base load. And by pairing things like wind and solar with a reliable base load, an on-demand power source like nuclear, we can provide consistent power.
What about all the oil drillers you'll unemploy?
The oil drillers. So, as we transition to a cleaner energy industry, a lot of people are going to shift jobs. But geothermal systems use the same drilling technology. So theoretically, by expanding geothermal capacity, we could actually keep a lot of them unemployed, or employed.
Let's talk about guns. There was a mass shooting this week.
Let's talk about the other shootings.
Huh?
I'm talking about suicide.
Wait, really?
So, politics has this fear culture where we're all going to be shot in a mass shooting on our way to work tomorrow. But that's not true. The person you're most likely to be shot by is yourself.
Really?
Yes, I'm completely serious. We need to invest in our mental health. Here's something, more people have shot themselves in the last 3 months than have died in the last 30 years of mass shootings.
Can we ban guns?
Nope.
Why not?
Technology. 3D printers are about to be able to print them in our own home. Maybe not now, but soon.
So what do we do?
We teach, just as we've always done with everything in our lives. Your mother or father taught you how to use a knife when you were a little kid, and now you slice vegetables without a second thought. You learned how to drive a car, how to turn on a stove, how to use a power outlet. And teaching safety, instead of teaching fear, is how we can normalize responsible use for guns just as we have with every other dangerous thing in our life.
So what's the most important part of your platform?
Space.
Why?
it's the final frontier. It's incredible. We've written poetry about it. We've wanted to explore it for years, and now we have the capacity to do so. I think it's something our species can aspire to.
Can we wait? Don't we have enough problems on Earth?
So everything in space is reused or recycled. Or at the very least, it's designed to be as maximally efficient as possible, to use as few resources as possible. Learning how to live off this planet's about the best thing we can do to live on it.
Are aliens real?